Hey there, H.H. Rune. In 2 days, I will be doing a book signing at the local bookstore, White Oak Books, at 1700 Main Street, Vancouver, Washington. I need to practice my reading, so I thought I would do one and pop it up on my YouTube video just for kicks. So hopefully you stick around. This is a reading from a journal entry section of my second book, Find Me Book 2. Claiming My Extraordinary Life, Me, 2000. It all started with a single epiphany about my life at the ripe old age of 30. 30 seems to be the number when you've lived long enough to track what your life is missing and grow ballsy enough to change it. As I blew out the candles of my non-existent cake, in came the soulful acknowledgement that I had lived my entire life thus far in fear. I'd made my decisions based on what I thought was the worst that could happen. I was an expert at making up horrible scenarios to keep myself from doing things. I had said no to countless opportunities that had been presented to me. I stayed in the safe little bubble that kept me small and unworldly, and I was okay with that until I wasn't. I'd been offered the opportunity to go to Paris right out of high school, all expenses paid, but I said, no, I'm not interested in France. When my mother was traveling to India and Tibet for a 4-day-long wedding with the Himalayan mountains as a backdrop, I had told her, no thank you. I couldn't leave my little suburban life and kids to spend 2 weeks out of the country. She and my brother went and have countless stories to tell to this day. I am sure it would have been a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. I'd married a safe man, as stable as they come. He loved routine and things in their place. I had shied away from going back to school because I worried I wouldn't do well. If I didn't try, then I couldn't fail. When hubby was offered a new job, including a fully paid move to the East Coast, I pushed to stay where we already lived, because I didn't want to leave my family behind. I stayed exactly where I was, but wished for things to be different without trying to change them. I kept rigid and didn't push anyone or myself beyond what I already knew. I can't say I was standing in a certain place or had just heard an empowering story when I finally understood this about myself. I just suddenly knew and held the belief that only I could rewrite my future, just as I knew I could never rewrite my past. So I started. I started by saying yes more. I looked up now and then from the little place I was so used to and fished around to see what else there was. Any chance I could get to push past the immediate, I took. I tried new foods and went to different places to shop. I listened to what my other friends were doing. I knew that it would be uncomfortable, and it was, but I buffered the change by seeking out a few similarly minded soul sisters to walk this new path with me. We would say yes more. We would encourage each other past our reservations. Together, we would seek out the extraordinary opportunities that fit into our ordinary lives. We'd do it step by step and be there for each other as things got harder. We would cheer each other on. At first, I didn't do things for anyone but myself, but over time, I came to see that my efforts might inspire my daughters to seek out bigger existences themselves. I tried on new dreams, running a 5K and starting a mom-based newsletter in the neighborhood about parenting. I started making lists of things I would love to do if given the chance. Hiking in the Rocky Mountains with llamas to carry our sleeping bags, spending a month learning to make pasta and speak Italian. In Italy, seriously seeking the Fen treasure and perhaps finding it. Finally writing my book. I proclaimed to as many people as would listen that I wanted to live an extraordinary life. I promised myself to chase the best, most adventurous life that I could from then on, without abandoning my current commitments. I wasn't going to leave my family and run off with some Greek god never to be seen again, but there was plenty of room to expand from where I was. This set of traveling books might be my greatest adventure yet. Once the idea popped into my head and out of my mouth to hubby's negation, I kept it quiet, holed up in my heart. With the way he reacted, he wouldn't think that I would have gone through with it. To him, it was just another one of my crazy ideas that I'd lose traction on and give up. The construction of the little memory books took an afternoon, once the memories and people written about inside the books wafted into me on 2 rainy mornings. The planning and packaging of each spanned only minutes once I had determined, in my own special way, where each would go. A quick search on the white pages on the internet, and I had 5 unsuspecting recipients chosen. I didn't know them, and they didn't know me as of yet. Random, one might say, but they weren't to me. Waiting to send the other ones was the hardest at the moment. This little secret, teasing and waiting in the background of my life every day and every night as I lived my wife and mom life. It was a hidden part of me, the action being one of the biggest chances I had ever attempted for myself, and I had no one I could tell. In the pauses of life's busy days, I wondered if one of the books would be returned to me and who it would be who found it. Maybe this was the wildest part. I do not have a good relationship with patience. I never have. Why had this idea and the waiting that came with it come to me? Would these books be a torturous tease for the rest of my days, leaving me crazed with longing? I had secret hopes that the courier would be certain people, ones with which I felt I had unfinished business, but I wasn't going to be picky in this. No way. Whoever came would be the perfect one to deliver my secret package back to me. God, please let this crazy dream come true. If it did, then my life could be proclaimed as extraordinary. No one could ever disagree. 5 little books sent out to strangers, each containing my life, inked out through shared moments with other people. Was my request that the books travel pleading enough? To tug at the hearts of the reader enough that they keep moving the book along until one or more finds its way back to me? My life feels bigger just by having attempted this gamble, but if nobody else knows, what will this extraordinary life of mine have to show for it? Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Helen Keller.